Hello and welcome. Today we are doing a pick a card reading to see what message the wealthiest version of yourself from your wealthiest timeline has for you around money. So, what guidance or encouragement the wealthiest possible version of you in the future has to help you where you are right now shift into that timeline and get on track to manifest that wealth. This is a timeless reading, so anytime you find this video is exactly when you need to hear this message. As we dive into this reading together, please remember, as always, that you are the creator of your reality. So always take what you need from these readings, take what resonates, and leave what doesn't. Find your own truths, clarity, and alignment in these readings, whatever that looks like for you. And if you are new here, then welcome. I'm so glad you found this video and this channel. My name is Taylor Eaton, and I am the author of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, which is one of the decks I have here for you to pick from today. So a couple quick notes before we pick our decks and then dive into the readings. First, we are currently sold out of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, but pre-order is open for our next print run. So if you want to reserve your copy and get it as soon as possible once it starts to ship, the links to pre-order are available in the description and pinned comment below. I created this deck specifically for use in abundance and money or success readings. So if you want to be able to get the guidance you need at any time to manifest more abundance in your life, then this deck is for you. Second, quick reminder that if you want support in shifting into your wealthiest timeline, you are absolutely welcome to come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership. This is the membership that I created and run. It is my favorite place to hang out on the internet. And next month, in April of 2024, we are doing a quantum leap challenge to help you master the art of shifting into your wealthiest timeline. I will, in that challenge, be sharing my exact approach to quantum leaping that has helped me 10 times my income in 6 weeks, go from 100K in debt to 100K in the bank, build a multiple six-figure business in a few short years, and so much more. And joining the membership doesn't just give you access to the challenge, it also gives you access to all of the exclusive money meditations, card readings, book club, and just our amazing exclusive community of like-minded people, all to help you manifest more money into your life with ease. And it's all for just $25 a month. And yes, you can cancel at any time. So come check it out. If it calls to you, I would love to get to personally connect with you inside of the Wealth Vibe membership. The link for it is in the description and pinned comment below. Last note before we run through all of our decks and crystals here is that I do not offer any private readings outside of the Wealth Vibe membership, so please do not be scammed by anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me. I will never message you and ask you to pay me for a reading. That will never happen. So with all of that being said, let's run through the piles and their crystals so you can pick your deck for your reading. So here today we have deck 1, deck 2, deck 3, and deck 4. If you like to pick by crystal, we'll take a closer look at those. So deck 1, we have green aventurine. There we go. That's what your crystal looks like if you are drawn to deck 1. For deck number 2, we have citrine. For deck number 3, we have kiwi jasper. And for deck number 4, we have carnelian. We will be incorporating, I believe we'll be incorporating all of these decks into each of the readings. And I will list all of the decks used in this video in the description below in case you're curious about what any of the decks are. You can absolutely watch more than one of the readings if more than one pile is calling to you. That just means there is guidance for you in each of those readings. So if you haven't picked yet, go ahead and pause the video if you like. Take however long you need to choose which deck or decks you are most drawn to, and then click the timestamps below in the description to jump to whichever deck or decks you're called to, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, deck number 1. This is your reading to uncover what message your wealthiest timeline has for you. So we'll be looking at any guidance that the future wealthiest possible version of you has to share with you where you are right now to help you really shift into that wealthier timeline and manifest that abundance. And in case you missed it at the beginning of the video, I want to make sure that I mention that we are doing a 21-day quantum leap challenge inside of the Wealth Vibe membership this coming month. So if you want to join me and over 100 other members in the Wealth Vibe to quantum leap into your wealthiest timeline, then be sure to click the link in the description or pinned comment below to come join in for the challenge and get access to all of the amazing benefits inside of the Wealth Vibe membership. I am so excited personally for this challenge. It is going to be so insanely powerful, and it starts on April 1st. So don't wait to dive in and start getting acquainted there if it calls to you. So we're going to dive in now to your reading. Let's move your crystal out of the way, and we're going to start shuffling to see what message the version of you from your wealthiest timeline has for you right now. So I want to know, what does deck 1's wealthiest self from their future, from their wealthiest timeline want them to know? We already have some guidance. I feel like your wealthiest self is coming through very strongly here, deck 1. Let's see what our cards say here. So we have, oh my gosh, beautiful. We have our 7 of Pentacles was our first card down here. This is amazing. So the first message that's coming through from your future wealthiest timeline, the wealthiest possible version of you, deck 1, is that whatever seeds you're planting right now in your life, especially around money, so in your career, in your business, in investments, whatever it is that you are planting right now, whatever projects you're working on that are bigger picture things, they are going to pay off massively. So I'm getting that you are currently taking some sort of actions that are going to lead to big payoffs in your future. And your wealthiest self is saying, whatever it is that you are doing right now that you know you should be doing right now and on an intuitive level, those are the things to just continue working at, continue being patient with it, not rushing it, and keep working at it, keep nurturing it, keep tending to it. And those things are going to pay off. That's what's going to lead you. I just saw 111 for you and 1122. Oh my gosh, so much confirmation. But right now, the seeds you're planting, those things are the things that are going to lead you to the wealthiest possible version of you if you continue to nurture them, to act on them, to really cultivate them, and doing so without rushing, right? Like when we think, especially when we see this imagery on this illustration of the 7 of Pentacles and the whole meaning of the card in general, but I love that they have, like a potted plant and this person's tending to it and watering it. And when you think about a plant grows at its own pace, right? It grows at its own pace, and it can grow quickly, but it won't go from just a little tiny little sprout to this whole plant overnight, right? Like it takes time and it takes your attention. It doesn't have to be around the clock attention, but just occasionally checking in with it, nurturing it, committing to it, being dedicated to helping it grow, to pruning away the weeds, to getting rid of pests, right? To watering it, making sure it's getting enough light. So the wealthiest version of you, your wealthiest timeline self, is saying there's actions that you are taking right now or can be taking right now that are going to pay off big time. So I'm seeing this more so as just this beautiful confirmation is what's coming through from your wealthiest possible self, from the universe, saying those things you want to do right now or that you're thinking of doing or that you're starting to do are exactly what's going to help you shift into that wealthiest timeline if you can have that long-term mentality around them, right? And not expect them to just be overnight successes, but know that the more you tend to them and you stay on track with them and aligned with them, it'll lead to that overnight success, which is really cool because a lot of times people don't have an idea for how the money's going to come in or how they're going to get to where they want. You already have some ideas, even if it's just the inkling of an idea. It's just the seed of an idea. You have that next step in front of you already, deck 1. I see a lot of you, not all of you, but a lot of you who picked this deck are potentially going back to school right now or studying for something. Maybe you're in school, maybe you are in some sort of training program or just learning on your own in some sort of self-paced program, or you are working with a mentor, or you are making big shifts in your career, right? Like your industry, or maybe, creating something new, a new offer, a new product, something like that. So there's those sorts of things that you're doing right now that are going to lead to this massive payoff down the road if you stick with them, right? And why I keep saying stick with them is I'm very clearly getting the guidance that this isn't going to be some I don't want to say it's not going to be some overnight success, because you will probably hit a point where things start to just kind of pop overnight, but it's going to be the result of continued dedicated work, and not necessarily hard work even, but just sticking with something, staying on track with something, staying consistent with something. This might even be some sort of project or side hustle you're starting or learning about now that then grows over time to be your main income stream, right? So whatever it is that you're starting right now has the potential for so much success, so much profit, so much abundance, and so much payoff down the road, but you have to be in it for the long game, right? If you just want it to work in 2 weeks, you're not giving it a chance to work, right? Is the message I'm getting. So your wealthiest self is saying you're on the right track. It's the confirmation of that thing you're thinking or you're starting to do is the thing that's going to somehow lead you to the abundance you desire. It's going to pay off, but you can't rush it. Have some patience with it, right? We also had, I feel like this one goes over here. We had doubting. We have our Page of Cups reversed: doubting, intuition, creative blocks, emotional immaturity, escapism. Yep. So a lot of this is just really that kind of extra confirmation. And we have our Ace of Wands right here reversed. So again, delays, blocks, distractions. Yeah. So this is really just this continued warning kind of, or just cautionary word from your wealthiest self saying, if you can't have the big picture vision, you can't have that zoomed out vision of success and what the eventual payoff might be, and knowing that what you're doing and having that faith and trust in what you're doing to have that long-term payoff. If you can't lean into that, you're going to feel blocked, creative. You're going to doubt your intuition, right? A lot of this is trusting your intuition, what you know in your soul is the right thing to do, what you're feeling intuitively drawn to do. You have to trust that. This is something we talk about in the Wealth by Membership all the time. It's one of the 3 pillars I teach on all the time around money in there, is that you have to have some deep trust in yourself, in what feels right to you to do, because the way you're going to quantum leap, the way you're going to shift timelines, it's not logical. So how do you know what the next right step is? It's what feels aligned to your inner guidance, to your intuition, right? What's that inner guidance kind of nudging you to do? Those things, those seeds you plant now that come from that inner guidance and not from scarcity or fear or just trying to logic your way to what you want, but it's just, you're just inexplicably I just feel it feels so right to me to go take that program or to go learn this skill or to put this offer into my business suite or to start looking for those other jobs in this other field. Whatever it is that nudge just feels right, even if you don't have logical reasoning for it, start pursuing it, start exploring it, and start to trust that more and more. You have to trust your inner guidance, your wealthiest self saying. That's how you're going to, wealthiest self saying, trusting your inner guidance, trusting your intuition is what's going to get you into that wealthiest timeline. It's what's going to lead to the success you desire. But if you continue to, or start to doubt yourself and trust in what everyone else tells you should be doing instead of what feels aligned for you to be doing, then you'll get distracted. Those are the distractions, right? You'll get distracted. You'll run into blocks. You'll start to drop off from the continual nurturing of these seeds that you're planting. And then it'll pull you into a totally different timeline, which isn't your wealthiest timeline, which is where you want to be. So this first part of the message from your wealthiest self is there is so much abundance, so much payoff for you down the road. I'm getting 2 to 3 years out for most of you, maybe 5 years out for more of you. And it doesn't mean that you have to wait 2 to 5 years to have any increase in abundance. Again, like a plant, your abundance will continue to grow the more that you nurture it. So this is a continual upward trajectory overall. So there's so much potential for that for you, Deck 1, but you have to be really committed to the long-term vision, but also to trusting your inner guidance to initiate these seeds and to plant these seeds, but then also to continue to cultivate them in the way they need to be cultivated. So trusting the inner guidance each step of the way. So important. And again, like I said, we talked about this in the Wealth 5 membership, and we even did a challenge that was partially around this last month in preparation for our Quantum Leap Challenge. So that is in the Wealth 5 membership. So if you want to check that out at any time and come back to that and really dig deeper into that trusting yourself, that link for the Wealth 5 membership is below. All right. I want to see what other message we have from the universe or from your wealthiest self. We have sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness, sensuality. We also have higher heart activation, dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. And again, a very clear theme here with these cards, very clear message coming through from your wealthiest self that trusting yourself, right? Trusting yourself and following those inner nudges so that you can continually take those aligned actions to nurture and grow the seeds you're planting now into long-term success. In order to do that, you're going to need to really, like we say, drop shields, right? Let go of those boundaries or stories or blocks that are no longer serving you. The things that are telling you that it is not safe to trust yourself. So the universe is saying a really great exercise to do, and this is very nice practical guidance from the universe and from your wealthiest timeline. It's interesting. I'm getting your wealthiest self is saying, this is an exercise I did, or some form of this is an exercise I did to help shift into this timeline, right? So this is advice from the future to tell you how to get there, to anchor you into the future, right? So do this if this feels aligned to you after this reading is sit down and write out, answer the question of why don't I think it's safe to trust myself or to trust this idea I have, whatever sounds good to you. Why don't I feel like it's safe to trust my intuition, my inner guidance? And just be honest and brain dump and dig deep into that. And I'd even set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes at least, and at least journal for even if you need to do 5 minutes because you're not a big journaler, or if you want to talk this out in a voice note or something like that, but really focusing on and digging into why do I think I can't trust my inner self, especially around money or around this idea or this career shift or whatever it is, whatever the seeds are that you might be planting, or just the general question, why do I not feel that it's safe to trust my intuition, my inner guidance? See what comes up. Those are the blocks that need to be healed, that the shields that need to be dropped or transmuted in some way so that you can more clearly trust yourself and continue to move more and more toward this big vision you have, this long-term vision, and you can shift into that wealthiest timeline. Your wealthiest self is holding on to the stories that tell you it's not safe to trust yourself, and your inner guidance right now is what's keeping you from fully shifting into that wealthiest timeline. So something to release there. And there's just going to be this, once you do that, there's going to be this door that kind of opens within you, this portal within you that is, you're going to find so much more tenderness with yourself, really. You're going to feel this much more intimacy with yourself, which is so beautiful. You're going to feel more connected to yourself. And again, that's kind of a sign that you've shifted, but also it's part of who you are being called to become in order to be that wealthiest version of yourself. Your wealthiest version of yourself is saying, I love myself and trust myself so much more than I did 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago even. I have grown and deepened so much into my own love and care for myself. And just as much as I have been cultivating these seeds of ideas that have paid off and led to massive wealth and the wealth I desire and more over the last several years, I have also equally been tending to my relationship with myself, my love for myself. Ooh, your wealthiest self, the universe is saying, when you have love for yourself, you naturally will trust yourself more. You'll naturally trust your inner guidance because your inner guidance is part of you. Your intuition is part of you. And if you love all of you and you want to honor all of you, you'll trust your inner guidance more easily. Trusting your inner guidance. Wow. Trusting your inner guidance is a form of self-love. It's a form of honoring yourself. Whoa. So that's what you are being called on an inner level to step into by your wealthiest self. Your wealthiest self is saying, here's what I had to do. Here's the inner work I had to do to be able to execute on the outer work that led to these long-term successes for me. Here's what I had to do. And I had to get clear on why I wasn't willing to fully trust myself, or how I can what are the things that are blocking me from trusting myself even more deeply, right? Because you can always go deeper with it. And then I started clearing those things and finding more love for myself and prioritizing my relationship with myself, and looking at every time I have an inner nudge, me honoring that inner guidance, that intuitive hit is an act of love for myself, an act of devotion. A way I express my love for myself is by listening to my inner guidance. Wow, deck 1. Holy moly. That's beautiful. You are going to grow so much, not just financially, yes, in the next several years, but also internally if you make these shifts, right? And of course our inner world creates our reality, our outer world. You're going to move through life with so much more love. You're going to move through life with just, oh my gosh, so much abundance within you. So much abundance within you. Like within you and outside of you. Deck 1. Amazing. Amazing. We have our student card. Yeah. So again, just that confirmation of whatever it is that you're thinking of learning right now. Whatever it is that you're thinking of deepening knowledge around right now, those, like, especially, you might see how it's already something that's going to lead to more abundance for you. Like maybe it's like, oh, I'll get this certification. I can offer this thing in my business. It's another way to make money, another thing that adds to my toolbox for my clients. Or it might just be that you're like, I don't know why, but I feel drawn to learn this skill or drawn to take this program. And when that's truly coming from your intuition and you identify that and you act on it, it will one way, directly or indirectly, lead you to the abundance you desire. So whatever you're thinking of learning right now, it also might not be in the traditional like studying environment. It might be, I'm going to experiment with this and see how this goes. Or I'm going to, watch some YouTube videos on this, or take, read a book on this or something like that. But wherever you're curious, your wealthiest self is saying, whatever you're curious about right now, give yourself permission to listen to that curiosity. Again, that's your intuition speaking to you. That's your higher self. That's your wealthiest self saying, go over here, so you can shift into this timeline. So whatever you're curious about right now, give yourself permission to learn more about it, to learn so that you can translate that. What you're going to learn is going to be so valuable and lead to so much wisdom that is going to make you so much money. Deck 1. So that's really cool. Yeah, it's going to lead to this prosperous overflow. This card's been coming up a lot lately, which I love to see. Collectively, it means we're all kind of like shifting paradigms and stepping more and more into a new era of abundance. So that's always nice to see. But it's just, what did I say earlier too? You're going to have abundance within you in your inner transformation and outside of you, right? You're going to have abundance in each part of yourself, of your life, on every level. That's phenomenal. I want to know, what does your wealthiest future self want you to release? What is your wealthiest version of yourself of deck 1? What do they want you to release? Sometimes life stings. Release those past hurts, those past fears, those past things that stung around money. I've actually never seen this card come up, and I use this, and same with this one. I use this deck quite a lot, and I have never seen either of these cards come up. So this really is next level guidance from your next level self. This is from your future wealthiest timeline. Your timeline is saying, your wealthiest self in your wealthiest timeline is saying, I know things have stung. I know things have stung. I know there's been things in the past where maybe you were trusting your intuition and you got burned, or you thought you were trusting your inner guidance and you got burned. Or I know that you were just doing your best and then someone took advantage of you, or especially around money, or you were trusting your inner guidance, you got fired from that job. The universe is saying, trust me, right? Trust me, trust that, trust in the great mystery, trust, right? Here's our word, trust again. Trust that you are always being divinely guided, even when you can't see it. Your wealthiest self is saying, trust that your highest self, right? Your wealthiest self and your highest self are two very different things. But the highest self, the higher version of you, the part that's still part of, like, very directly connected to source, that higher eternal version of yourself, trust that version of you can see like an overview of your life and can see what timeline you're on, what track you're on, right? And it's seeing, those things that have stung, they were redirecting you to whatever this big payoff is later. But you have to trust that again, right? And you have to trust the inner guidance. Just because maybe you've trusted your inner guidance in the past and it didn't work out how you thought it should or how you wanted it to, it doesn't mean that your inner guidance was wrong or that you didn't listen to it correctly. It means that it was guiding you exactly to where you needed to be at that moment so you could end up eventually here. But if you fight that, then it'll continue to just tell you that same that you'll continue to create more hurt or more disconnect from your inner guidance, from your intuition. So this might be something as you're doing that journaling kind of, or that reflective exercise that came through a little while ago in this reading, as you're doing that and you're finding stories of like, why do I believe it's not safe to trust my intuition or around money or just in general, what you might find are things like, oh, well, I thought I trusted my intuition and then I lost that job, or I thought I trusted my intuition and that person stole money from me, or I thought I trusted my intuition and I lost a bunch of money, or whatever it was. If you have stories like that, reframe. The universe is saying, and your wealthiest self is saying, reframe those stories. Say, what did that leave for me? How did these things serve me? How did they happen for me, not to me? Because if you're absolutely certain that you were listening to your inner guidance and not your ego or your fear, but you were truly listening to what felt the most aligned to you at that time, then you can't have ever gotten it wrong. You're right on track. It's just a redirect. And your willingness, wow. Your wealthiest self is saying, this is a lesson I have learned, is that the more that I trust that everything is happening for me, the more I trust my higher self knows what I need to do to get to where I want and is communicating that through my intuition, my intuitive nudges. The more that I trust that, the faster the money happens. Ooh, wow, I'm seeing your future self is saying that they had a massive, they had a quantum leap. Yes, there were these long-term investments, but remember I said this at the beginning of the reading, those investments popped off at some point. And when I say investments, it could mean literal investments. It could also mean you spent time investing time and energy into learning a skill and then started using it. And then all of a sudden you start getting paid for it, right? Investments doesn't just mean investing in stocks or something like that, right? It could be a lot of different things where we invest our time and energy or resources, right? So your future self is saying, wow, this is so exciting to see. I invested things. I stuck with it. I was patient. I was dedicated to it. I healed my blocks. I prioritized my love for myself, my relationship with myself. I honored my intuitive nudges as an act of love and devotion to myself. And in doing that, then all of a sudden it was like that. All of a sudden the money started just popping in and growing and more and more and more. So they had this amazing quantum leap, but in order to shift to be in that space where you can have that success, you have to let go of the past stories that have been, rightfully created around past things that happened that stung when you thought you were trusting your intuition or doing what felt right to you. But shift the perspective on those things so that you can trust the great mystery, you can trust the journey, and trust that your higher self or the universe is guiding you to this highest timeline, to the wealthiest possible future you can have, to exactly where you want to go. The more you can trust that, the faster you will get there. The more quantum leaps will happen for you. The more collapsing of time will happen. I want to get one more card for you from the Wealthy Woman Oracle card or deck. Oh my gosh, yeah, the Artisan card. Okay, so you're going to create something. In your wealthiest timeline, you create something is what your wealthiest self is saying. You create something that's a masterpiece. When you start to drop these stories that you can't trust yourself or that prevent you from trusting yourself on a deeper level, trusting your intuition, and trusting in the universe, when you can really surrender to your inner guidance, surrender to the flow of the universe, to this idea of everything's happening for me. My highest self is always guiding me to where I want to end up, even if it doesn't look how I thought it would, right? When you can surrender to those concepts and to yourself, to your intuition, the things that you are investing in now, your time, your energy, your money, the things you're learning now, the things that are going to lead to that prosperous overflow, these long-term investments, they are going to be a masterpiece I'm getting even masterclass. Like you are going to, maybe you're actually going to be on like masterclass and interviewed on there. I saw 1144 and 2323 at the same time. Amazing. Amazing confirmation. Some of you might be like featured on masterclass, like that platform, right? But you could also be giving masterclasses or things like that. I get that I'm really getting in 5 years time, like you'll look back at everything you've created from this point forward, as long as you shift these things, right? And shift into this wealthiest timeline, you're going to look back and be like, I created a masterpiece. And other people are going to say that about you too. Other people are going to say the same thing. You created a masterpiece. You created a masterpiece. This could be a masterpiece, literally, quite literally, could be a piece of art, a book, a song, an album, something literally more in the field of the arts. But it also could be just like the way you structured a business or the way you climbed the corporate ladder, what you did in a position of influence at the top of a company that you just quantum leap to the top of the company, or whatever it is that you end up doing. Other people in your field and even outside of your field are going to look at you and say, you are truly one of the greats. You are truly, wow, you are proof of what can happen when you dedicate yourself to something that you truly are aligned with, that you truly believe in. That's truly your calling. Wow. I'm getting like chills talking about this. You're going to create something phenomenal is what your future wealthiest timeline is saying. And it literally comes from like, trust what you want to pursue moment to moment, release the blocks that tell you it's not safe to trust that. Learn what you're curious about learning and see where that leads you. Trust your intuition every step of the way as an act of love and devotion to yourself. And you're going to create this masterpiece that leads to just this insane amount of abundance, of overflow, more than you are maybe even prepared for, but you'll be able to calibrate to it easily the more that you're trusting yourself and your inner guidance and listening to that. Wow. Incredible, deck one. All right, deck number one. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below letting me know what you took from it and how it resonated. I always really appreciate seeing your comments and getting to read them and getting to connect with you in the comments and hear how these readings are landing with you. It means the world to me. So please do comment if you feel called to do so. You are, of course, welcome to subscribe to my channel for future card readings for abundance if you're not already subscribed. And of course, if you want to come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership so you can get access to our upcoming Quantum Leap Challenge, plus all of the resources, support, and community you need to easily manifest the wealth you desire into your life, then I would love to get to connect with you inside the membership. The link for the membership and the link to pre-order the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck are both in the description and pinned comment below. So with all that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity, abundance, and quantum leaps into your wealthiest timeline. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, deck number two. This is your reading to uncover what message your wealthiest timeline has for you. So we will be looking at any guidance that the future wealthiest possible version of you has to share with you in order to help you shift into that timeline and manifest that abundance. And in case you missed it at the beginning of the video, I want to make sure here that I mention that we are doing a 21-day Quantum Leap Challenge inside of the Wealth Vibe membership this coming month. So if you want to join me and over 100 other members inside of the Wealth Vibe to quantum leap into your wealthiest timeline, then be sure to click the link in the description or pinned comment below to come join in for the challenge and to get access to all the other amazing exclusive benefits and resources inside of the membership. I am personally so excited for this challenge, for this Quantum Leap Challenge in the membership. It is going to be so insanely powerful, and it starts on April 1st. So don't wait to jump in, to get acclimated to this space, and to get all ready for the challenge to start. So with that being said, we're going to dive into your reading. We'll move your crystal out of the way, and I want to start shuffling to see what message the version of you from your wealthiest timeline has for you right now. So what does deck two's wealthiest self from their wealthiest timeline want them to know? Soul star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. I see you having a big spiritual awakening in your wealthiest timeline. You have some really, really big, wow. Okay, we're going to get to that in a minute, but these cards wanted to come up. Oh my goodness. You are, wow, perfect. Okay, deck 2. You are in your wealthiest timeline. The wealthiest version of you is saying, I had some big spiritual soul awakening, some big up level within myself that led me to all the abundance that I have now. All the abundance, I'm getting the abundance that your wealthiest self has, like the wealthiest possible version of you in the future, the wealthiest timeline you could possibly step into, the wealthiest possible reality or outcome for you in your future. Your wealthiest self is saying that I couldn't have attained the wealth that I have now without this big internal transformation, this big up level of, like I said, spiritual awakening keeps coming up, where you remember more clearly than ever before who you are at a soul level and who you came here to be, is what I'm getting. So I get that a lot of you who picked this pile will, in the next, I'm getting months to year or two, have some sort of big realization of what you're really meant to do in this lifetime, especially around money or career. Like what impact you're supposed to have, what impact your soul really wants to have, what kind of like your calling is, your destiny, if those words resonate with you. It could be your karma, right? But it's like you're going to have some really big realization. I could see some of you who are entrepreneurs realizing, kind of completely shifting niches or industries. I could see those of you who are more traditionally employed completely shifting into a different career. I could see those of you who are not employed in some way but have money flowing a different way to you or through someone else in your life. The way it flows completely changes, or what you're doing with it completely changes, because you're going to have so much more clarity, is what your wealthiest self is saying right now. You are going to have so much more clarity. Even if you think you have clarity on who you are on a soul level and what you came here to do, there is a much, 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 much deeper level of that you're going to be able to access, that you're going to need to access in order to step into that wealthiest timeline. And your wealthiest self is saying the way that I'm getting that you initiate, like your wealthiest self initiated this spiritual awakening. It could have been conscious. It could have been, I get that for a lot of you, it was almost accidental. But now, because we're having this conversation, it will become more of a conscious choice. Interesting how we shift reality and time like that, right? But so maybe this reading was always supposed to find you. So your wealthiest self is saying, I shifted into this reality. I shifted into this timeline where I have this big spiritual awakening by intentionally healing some wounds. We have wounds are healed here. By intentionally healing some wounds, by leaning into all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, serenity. And I'm getting unconditional acceptance of myself and unconditional acceptance of the world. And that is a tall order, deck 2. Your wealthiest self is saying it was not an easy thing to do. It didn't feel, I don't get that it was painful, but it was hard because it required a complete restructuring or shifting of your perspective of the world. I'm getting your wealthiest self saying all the areas where I either had judgment of others or was more, just had any sort of negative energy or perceptions of others in any way, whether it's of governments or of people who are in certain industries, or dogs are barking next door, or any sorts of, resentments you held towards past employers or anyone big, any level of society, big or small, or, micro or macro, that your wealthy self is saying that I had any negativity towards. I looked at those things, and when I healed those things and just brought love to everything and chose and challenged myself, I'm getting to see the world, and especially the economic world that we live in, through the eyes of all-encompassing love through the eyes of source, through unconditional acceptance and surrender. My wounds were healed. I healed those wounds by choosing to reframe those stories, by choosing to reframe the ways I looked at others, at maybe it's, at having to pay taxes, and there's some resentment on your part on having to pay taxes, or some unjust situation in your life where you have to pay money or you were cheated out of money that you felt you should have. Your wealthiest self is saying, make peace with whatever those things are. Doing that is going to kick off this amazing spiritual awakening of this deeper remembering of who you came here to be and what you came here to do, because these things are clouding your ability to see that right now, or see it on a deeper level. And that's going to allow you to shift into this wealthiest timeline to then generate, I'm getting massive amounts of wealth for you. Deck 2. This is a really cool start to this reading. I'm getting like the energy I'm getting from your wealthiest self is very almost regal. It's very, I'm looking for the best word to describe this energy that's coming through from your wealthiest self. It's very centered. It's very grounded. It's very strong. It's very confident and certain, but it's also with this undercurrent of love. Right? Like it is kind of this energy of, oh, I just saw 555 for you. Perfect confirmation. It's this energy of, it's almost like nobody messes with me, because nobody can mess with me, because I have strong boundaries. I am confident in what I do to call in the wealth I have, and the impact that I'm making with it. I know exactly who I am, but also I am love. So no one can get to me, really. Nothing gets to me. It's almost like you've reached a kind of stage of enlightenment in the future in your wealthiest timeline, Deck 2. And now the universe is saying, let's be clear, you don't have to be enlightened to be wealthy. That's not required. It's gonna be part of this byproduct. You're gonna reach a higher level of consciousness and of love and emotional maturity is what I'm getting. This is really beautiful. It's very, like I said, strong, regal, confident, centered, grounded energy. Really, really exciting. Like I see massive wealth, like millions, possibly billions for some of you, that are available to you when you remember who you are. Because it's going to change, like it's going to change what you do or the way you do it in such a profound way that I also see it being innovative, right? The guidance that the message that's coming through from your wealthy self is like, I innovated something. I did something in a way only I could do it, because that's what I came here to do. It's wow, like your future wealthy self is like almost kind of no nonsense, but it's because I can tell they're trying to really get this message to you right now and where you are, of your wealthy self wants you to see how powerful you are and how you came here to this world to do big work. You just got to release some of those stories that keep you from, that prevent you from feeling healed, that prevent you from seeing fully from the eyes of source, from the lens of love. Really, wow. That's really what you have to do. And then you get to go to where you want to be, right? Okay, so you are right now, your wealthiest self is saying where you are right now, whether you realize it or not, you are at a crossroads. You are at a place with our Two of Pentacles here. You are at a place where you have a decision of, do you want to remember who you are and who you came here to be, or do you want to continue clinging to the old stories and ways of looking at the world, the ways of looking at the world and money and the economy and governments and employment or money, whatever it is? Do you want to keep clinging to those stories? Because those stories are excuses. Those negative stories are excuses. Do you want to keep clinging to those, or do you want to remember who you are? Because that transcends all of this. So every time, wow, this is some very direct guidance from your wealthiest timeline. It's saying, if you want to remember who you are and step into this abundance that's available to you, have the spiritual awakening, and truly transform your reality and quantum leap into wealth, if you want to do that, you have to realize that every time that you tell those negative stories or you hold on to that negative energy around, feeling wronged in some way by society, by an employer, by a client, by anywhere where money's involved, right? By the justice system, by the government, by taxes, by whatever it is. Anytime you feel, if you want to hold on to feeling wronged or bitter or annoyed or like there's some sort of injustice, is the longer you hold, every time you hold on to that, it's an excuse not to remember who you are. This is very tough love from your wealthiest timeline. Your wealthiest timeline self is saying, there's so much at stake here, and not to put pressure on you, but there's so much at stake in terms of how positively you are going to impact the world, but you cannot do it from a place of clinging to these old judgments that prevent more love from bubbling up from within you, because you are love at your core. You are abundance and love at your core. And that needs to be able to arise so that you can remember who you are, right? So, and again, you might not be a very bitter person, back to you. I'm not getting that you're going through your life as a curmudgeon and you're just angry at everyone and but there's just a couple little things in there, little splinters is what I'm getting, like little splinters that need to be pulled out, that are these old stories around money, or how, the world is broken around money and all that. And don't get me wrong, you will always, always, always find evidence for whatever it is that you choose to look for. So if you want to find evidence that the world is very broken, that money is evil, you will find that evidence out there. You'll create it, you will find it, and you will create a story and a reality based on that. If you choose, right, now or any time in the near future at any point, to shift into finding evidence that money is good, that the world is, that people are good, that corporations are good, that companies are good, then you will be able to shift into this energy of love and start to have this awakening, remember who you are, and see how you can bring more goodness to the world, more love to the world through what you do. Does this mean we make excuses or turn a blind eye to injustices in the world? No, it just means we choose to see it through the lens of love and know that doing that allows us to make changes to those things that need to be changed. Right? It's the energy that your wealthiest self saying, you are actually going to create such positive change in the world and fix so many wrongs with a ripple effect of what you do. But you have to be willing to approach things with the energy of love instead of the energy of lack of love or negativity or scarcity. Right? So you can, again, I said your wealthiest self is very no nonsense in the way of I'm here to do big things. I get stuff done. I just saw 1212 for you. Nice confirmation. I am here to do big things. I am here to I'm not messing around, because there's so much, I have so much to offer the world and so much good to do in the world, especially with all the money I'm going to make and the way I'm going to make it. But I know I'm not going to be able to do that or even have the motivation or insight on how to do that if I'm seeing everything through this very jaded lens. I have to see things through the lens of love, because bringing the energy of love to everything I do allows me to find solutions for the problems that exist in the world. I can see wrongs, I can see injustices, but I can say, I choose to believe that there is another way. I choose to believe that there can be some good that can come from this. I choose to believe in the good that exists already there and look for it and then grow that and allow that to expand. Wow. Really cool. Ooh, deck 2. We have our Ace of Pentacles here. Again, I said this is even these words on this card: new job or promotion, new opportunity, right? Prosperity, new manifestation, new material offer. So when I said that with this spiritual awakening, it's going to completely transform what you're doing in your life to make money, or at least the way you're doing it, right? But again, I think a lot of you listening to this deck who picked this deck are going to be changing careers, changing industries or niches, creating something totally new in the world potentially. But this choice, right? Again, this choice. We have our Ace and our 2 here, Pentacles. To either hold on to the negative or on the positive. It's by choosing to see the good and look for the good and the potential and the possibility in things and see things through love and heal those old stories or ways of looking at the world and money. When you choose to go down that path, that's what shifts you into this wealthiest timeline. That's what shifts you into this spiritual awakening. That's what shifts you into these new opportunities for money, this new reality, this influx of abundance that can come your way. All right, very, very cool. Let's see what else we have. I want to pick from, yeah, we're going to do this card. I want to see what else your future wealthiest self has for you. Yeah, of course. We have turkey spirit, give with gratitude and grace. So here the message that's coming through from, this one's coming more from source than your wealthiest self, just to back up what your wealthiest self has been saying. But the more that you look through the lens of love, and always, whenever you find yourself getting frustrated or bitter or annoyed or angry at a situation around money, whether it's personal or global or anything like that, anytime you find yourself getting frustrated, ask yourself, what about the situation can I give grace to? What love can I find here? What gratitude can I find here? What in this situation am I grateful for? Am I grateful for that this is an opportunity for me to learn how to better unconditionally and all-encompassingly love? Am I grateful for what this is teaching me? Am I grateful for the clarity this is giving me of who I want to become so that I can change this in the world? Find the gratitude in it. This is a good ongoing practice for you. Your wealthiest self is stepping back in and saying, this is how you reclaim your power. I've never seen this card either. There's a lot of cards coming up from this deck that I've never seen before, even though I use this deck quite a bit. This is our Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. What a powerful card. This is a beautiful card. That's how you reclaim your power, is by challenging every block or thought or perception you currently have around anything related to money or work in your reality, like again, on a global level or personal level or whatever it is. Anytime you have one of those kind of more heavier negative energies come up or thought patterns come up, if you can start to then ask yourself, how can I bring love or grace to this? What gratitude can I find to give to this situation or of this situation or for this situation or, for this, how can I shift this thing that keeps me stuck focusing on the negative? How can I shift into something that's going to allow me to see the potential or the positive for abundance or for love through it? This is going to completely transform how you look at the world. It's going to help you step back into your power, connect with your power, connect with who you are at your soul level, which is what really everything your wealthiest self is doing, is like doing these things. It's how you get to your abundance, but more importantly, it's how you remember who you are by focusing on the good, focusing on the love that's available, bringing love to everything. You're going to feel so empowered. You're going to feel untouchable. This is such a beautiful, beautiful piece of guidance for you. All right, let's pull some from our Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. I want to see what guidance or next steps does your wealthiest timeline version of you have to share with you right now? Any other guidance or steps? Yeah, we already know you're going through a rebirth. Thank you for the confirmation. It's like, get ready. Your wealthiest self is saying, get ready to change. Get ready to change. Because you cannot, the wealth you desire, I have Abraham Hicks's words ringing in my ears. You can't get there from there. Meaning you can't right now with where you are. There's, again, these splinters. And again, these aren't necessarily like your primary way of looking at the world, but it's these little areas that need to just be extracted or changed that they're just keeping you from being the version of you who is this wealthiest version of you, from shifting into that timeline, right? So you can't expect your financial reality or even the world to change until you change. And this is what needs to be changed. So where are you holding on to that negativity around money and how it relates to others? We have our Breath of Abundance card. Go inward is what your wealthiest self is saying. Go inward. Meditative practice is really great for this if you do meditation daily. If not, something to consider, possibly breath work, but more so finding stillness whenever you find your subconscious or your ego or that, that part of you that's quick to jump to conclusions about things or that has those old stories playing on repeat in your head. Whenever you can catch that happening in the process, taking a deep breath and feeling into the stillness of that moment and saying, what's the love or gratitude or grace that's available to be found here that I can focus on and amplify? How can I shift my perspective, right? Like really going inward. What's going to allow you to shift into your wealthiest timeline? What's going to allow you to have this big, huge spiritual upgrade or awakening and unlock all this insane wealth and impact that you are here to have? What's going to allow you to do that is the inner work, right? For some people, it's you got to take some aligned action. You got to do this. For you specifically, deck 2, where you are right now. It doesn't mean that you won't have to take any action along the way, but where you are right now as you're listening to this reading, your wealthiest self, your wealthiest timeline is saying, it's an inner game right now. This is the next step for you, is turning inward, embracing change, being ready to change, allowing yourself to remember who you came here to be. Really cool. Let's pull one more card for you. Yeah, of course, we have Divine Surrender. Our Divine Surrender card again. Allow the universe to bring you more things. Allow the universe to guide you to where you need to be guided next. Again, as I just said, there's going to be action you'll have to take along the path, right? To get to this wealthiest version of yourself. Once you've shifted into your wealthiest timeline, by, reshaping how you're looking at the world and choosing to see through the lens of love rather than the lens of fear, or negativity, or scarcity. Once you've done that and you start to have the spiritual awakening, there's going to be action you're going to take. You're going to take big actions. You're going to take actions that right now your wealthiest self is saying, if I told you what those actions were right now, you'd freak out. And it's like you're kind of not ready for those things yet until you can see through the lens of love more fully. And it's not that the universe or your wealthiest self is trying to be withholding right now. It's saying those answers will come, those next steps will come, maybe in a form of a future reading you listen to here or elsewhere, or in some other form, right? The answers will come. They're almost being promised to you. Like the next steps, the big actions you're supposed to take will come one way or another for you. You'll just have to, again, be quiet and listen and allow them to come. Don't try to force them to come. Know that they'll come as a product of you remembering who you are. Because when you remember who you are and who you came here to be, going back to the beginning of our reading, what happens is you remember, you get clear on, you get so much more clarity, right? On here's what truly matters. Here's what I want to shift in the world. Here's the big vision, the big impact I want to leave, the legacy I want to leave. Here's how I want to be remembered. Here's the good I want to do in this life. Here's what would make me feel more full of love and allow me to love even more. Those are the things that you will take actions on. Like knowing those things, you'll naturally be like, okay, here's the path to do that, or here's what needs to be done first, and here's the next step, and here's the next step. The path will be laid out for you. It'll be very easy for you to see the next step and the next step, as long as you're looking through the eyes of love and allowing it to come to you. Don't try to force it to happen. Right? Don't try to force the path to appear. The path will naturally appear the more that you're just remembering who you are and seeing everything through the lens of love. Wow, deck 2. Isn't that great to know that the abundance you desire, your wealthiest possible future self, is on the other side of you just allowing more love to shine through you and from you and to you, and like it's just feeling love. Isn't that nice to know, instead of oh, you're gonna have to work real hard, or it's gonna be a struggle. It's like it's all coming home to yourself. 23, amazing. It's all coming home to yourself. Deck 2. The more you come home to yourself, the more you unlock that path to abundance, bit by bit by bit. It just unfolds before you. You get to surrender to the love. Surrender to love in every situation. Wow. Really cool last little tip for you from your wealthiest self. They're saying right now where you are, you can start just every day asking yourself, how can I surrender a little bit more to love in any situation, especially the situations that feel challenging or negative around money in any way, right? And watch how that just transforms everything for you. So there you have it, deck 2. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below letting me know what you took from it and how it resonated. I truly do appreciate all the comments that you leave. I love getting to hear your thoughts on these readings. They give me ideas for future readings and that motivation to keep going. So definitely comment below if you feel called to. You are, of course, also welcome to subscribe to my channel for future card readings for abundance if you feel called to do so, if you aren't already subscribed. And if you want to come join me inside of the Wealth 5 membership so that you can get access to our upcoming Quantum Leap Challenge, plus all the resources, support, and community you need to more easily manifest the wealth you desire into your life, then I would love to get to connect with you in the membership. The link for that and the link to pre-order the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck are both in the description and pinned comment below. So with all of that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity and abundance and quantum leaps into love and spiritual awakenings and your wealthiest timeline. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, deck number 3. This is your reading to uncover what message your wealthiest timeline has for you. So we will be looking at any guidance that the future wealthiest possible version of you has to share with you right now to help you shift into that wealthy timeline and manifest that abundance into your life. And in case you missed it at the beginning of this video, I want to make sure that I mention here that we are doing a 21-day Quantum Leap Challenge inside of the Wealth Vibe membership this coming month. So if you want to join me and over 100 members in the Wealth Vibe membership to quantum leap into your wealthiest timeline, then be sure to click the link in the description or pinned comment below to come join in for the challenge and to get access to all of the amazing exclusive resources and support that we have inside of the membership as well. I am personally so excited for the Quantum Leap Challenge. It is going to be so insanely powerful, and it starts on April 1st. So don't wait to jump into the membership if you want to, because you will then get time to acclimate to the membership, to learn how to navigate it, to explore some of the prep work we've been doing there this month to help you have even more success in the challenge in the next month. So I would love to get to see you in there if it calls to you. All right, let's start shuffling. We're going to dive in to see what message the version of you from your wealthiest timeline has for you right now. So let's see what our Wealthy Woman Oracle deck has to say. What is deck 3's wealthiest self from their timeline? Their wealthiest timeline. What do you want them to know? Ooh. Seasons of Wealth. I want to get some more clarity on this card before, because I have 2 potential messages coming through that I want to, okay, our Adventurer card, I want to get some clarity to make sure we know what the guidance is. All right, yes, all right, thank you, Universe, thank you to deck 3's wealthiest self for the confirmation. All right, so what I'm getting, what your wealthiest possible self, the wealthiest timeline that exists out there for you that you could possibly step into, deck 3, what they are saying, what they want to communicate to you is that the path to the wealth you want, like this is, and keep in mind, this is the version of you who already has attained the most wealth you could possibly attain in your life from where you are right now. Like they have attained the most wealth. They are the wealthiest option, because there are infinite options right out there in the universe, but they are the wealthiest one of all the options out there. The wealthiest version of yourself is saying the path that got them to where they are, it had some ups and downs around money, around success. And they're saying this with so much positivity and with so much love, and they're saying it as not a warning, but as a kind of reassurance. So they're saying that even though they now can look back on it, saying, I've achieved all this wealth, I've achieved just this astronomical amount of abundance in all these different forms, including financially, but they're saying, even though I can look back and know I have the wealth now, and I can look back on, where you are now, the version of you listening to this reading, they're saying, it never really looked like I never knew for sure I was on the right path until the money actually then came in. But they are saying what they did is there was a big shift they made from where you are right now that helped them to navigate like all these ups and downs. And when I say ups and downs, it could mean like financially their income went up and down and up and down. I get more that it was like an inner up and down of they were just never like really sure if they were on the right path. They sometimes believed they were, but then something would happen and they were like, is this really the right path? Or they'd be redirected by the universe and they'd be like, I don't Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I feel like I'm so far from the abundance I want, or what if it never happens? Like there was a lot of internal self-doubt. There were a lot of things that happened that kind of redirected them in a way they didn't predict going in their career or their finances or even their life. But it all happened for them, right? They're saying it happened in this really positive way, this really amazing way. I don't get the sense there was like tons of struggle. It was more just that inner struggle, right? Of like the inner doubt. There were a couple little things I'm getting. They're saying a couple few things that happened that you're like, wow, that wasn't great externally or financially, like an unexpected expense or, being let go from a job or something like that. But they're like looking back, it all was happening for me and I'm getting the guidance too. This is a little bit really, there's some crossover here from our deck 1, I believe. So if you were also drawn to deck 1 or deck 2, go check either of those out after this reading if you feel called to. Just getting that guidance for you, but you don't have to. I think this is a very different message altogether. Your future wealthiest self is saying, it was all in retrospect. I can see how it was all happening for me. And what allowed me to navigate this is what they really want to share with you. And their biggest tip for you, at least to start off with, that's going to allow you to expand to so much abundance and shift into that wealthiest timeline that has this just exponential abundance pouring in more and more. That wealthiest version of yourself says the biggest thing I want you to know that you need to know right now is that what allowed me to shift from where you are into this wealthiest version of myself was a perspective shift of I am along for the adventure of life. Like I'm here for the ride of it, especially where money or career or success is concerned. They said what they did and what they would encourage you to do in order to calibrate to that timeline, to quantum leap into that timeline and allow yourself to navigate all the inner ups and downs and some outer ups and downs that will come with it, but lead to this huge payoff, is that it's you adopting a mentality of life is an adventure and money is an adventure, and whatever happens in money and life, it's like this element of surrender of like the money. Yes, I can want more money. I can want more wealth, but I'm not putting it on a pedestal. I'm not like, well, my life will be meaningless or I won't feel happy or successful or satisfied until I get to that money. It's like you can want what you want, but the primary focus, your wealthiest self is saying, the primary focus of their life became, from where you are now and still is, to enjoy the adventure of life, to enjoy the unfolding of life. That was and is their primary focus in life. And that they are saying wholeheartedly, they know and believe that mentality of being a little bit surrendered, being kind of along for the ride of life and seeing where it takes you. And then whenever you kind of land somewhere, you're like, oh, what feels the best to me to do here? What's the most aligned? How do I step into my power here? Right? Like, and then seeing how that plays out and then doing that with the next thing and not being attached to making it turn out a certain way or looking a certain way, and instead just enjoying the journey, enjoying the adventure and unknown of life. That is what they truly, like, they're like, that's what led to this abundance, because I had this mentality that kept me flexible, that kept me open to things, that had me saying yes to things that I wouldn't have said yes to in the past, that led to these amazing opportunities and this amazing abundance I have. So the universe and your wealthy self is really saying the biggest tip to start with here, like to help not just navigate the ups and downs that are kind of pepper your wealthiest timeline. And again, most of these are inner doubts. They're not outer issues for the most part. It's just the like uncertainty of how do I know I'm on the right path? The way you'll navigate that, but also the way you'll shift into that timeline that allows you to reach this wealthiest potential that you have, is by becoming this adventurer, right? By truly embodying the adventurer spirit of like, how can I just see what life brings me today? How can I see where this job takes me? How can I see where this career takes me? Where this offer or launch in my business takes me? How can I, of course, always act in alignment with my inner guidance, with what feels right to me, but how can I just almost kind of go with the flow? But it's not this total like surrender of I'm not going to try, I'm just going to let things come. It's like you can still go out and try to, make things happen or do things, but it's with a kind of inner level of detachment. Okay, it's an inner level of detachment of like, I don't necessarily need the money to show up because I'm having the time of my life experiencing this adventure and just seeing where it takes me and seeing what experiences pop up. And maybe some of them are pleasurable and some of them aren't. Some of them are preferred, some of them are not preferred, but then I get to grow from those things. Let me see where that leads me and where the universe is redirecting me to. Like, there's that mentality. Your future yourself is very clearly, this is honestly like the clearest guidance I think I've gotten out of the 3 decks we've done so far for this reading, is truly like, it's really just adopt this mentality of being this adventure, of going on the adventure of life, of looking at life as an adventure and seeing where it takes you and finding whatever joy or experiences you can from it, and just doing what feels aligned and best to you to allow yourself to continue going on this adventure. Like, that mentality is what is going to allow you to shift in your wealthiest timeline, and what's going to allow you to easily calibrate to and navigate that wealthiest timeline all the way to massive amounts of abundance, right? We have our 7 of Wands here. So this really is, we have challenge, perseverance, right? Like, defending your position. This is the mentality that gives you that ability to keep going no matter what. I'm getting your wealthiest self is saying, people look at me today and they go, how did you end up there? How did you end up there? I am amazed. Like, I would not have guessed 5 years, 10 years ago that this is where you would have ended up. I would have thought that you would have been in some, low paying job, or you would have like just kind of settled, or just been, really just kind of like run of the mill. And wow, you have overcome so much, and you've done it in this really amazing way to watch. And wow, how did you get here? And you're going to be like, I don't even really know. I just know I just was like, I'm going on an adventure, and this is where it kind of landed me. And I'm so grateful for it. But that's the thing too, is your wealthiest self is saying, I still have this mentality. I still have this. This isn't something you'll ever let go. When you start to really ingrain this mentality in yourself, deck 3, of truly being an adventurer, it's going to be with you forever. And it's going to serve you and help you persevere through anything to whatever abundance or desire you have. We have our 3 of Swords reversed, releasing pain, forgiveness, right? Self-love. This was a big theme in deck 2, if that was the one that called to you. I was getting that guidance to send you to either one, but I think more and more I'm seeing, if you felt pulled to deck 2, that one is the one to go watch after this if you feel called to, or if you already did. This is just confirmation if you're coming from deck 2. Great. Extra confirmation that this is something you can add into that message as well. So, in order to be able to assume this mentality of being the adventurer, of going on this adventure of life and money, and just see what happens, and not make it mean anything about you, and not, make it mean whether you're on track or not for what you want, and just be completely surrendered to the adventure of life and money and your experience here in this life. You're going to have to forgive yourself for some things. Deck 3. Your wealthiest self is saying there's something you've been holding on to for way too long. I think I'm getting that most of you are conscious of what this is on some level. Some of you might still be a little unaware of this, but some simple like sitting with this and reflecting on it will bring it to the surface pretty easily. But there's something you've been holding on for way too long to. That is, it's keeping you from being able to look at life as an adventure, because you have some sort of story around something that happened, specifically around money or career, that you're beating yourself up for, or you're making yourself wrong for, or you feel wronged by. And it's like, I see one specific thing is what your wealthiest self is telling me. There could be a handful of things, but there's like one thing in specific that is kind of blocking you from being able to truly just enjoy the adventure of life. And so the universe and your wealthiest self are saying, like, that's the thing. I saw 1144 for you. Nice little confirmation. That is what needs to go. That is what you need to forgive, right? Give yourself some love and forgive it. You do not deserve to hold on to that, or the pain that memory causes you. You do not deserve to keep yourself from enjoying the adventure of life, or saying, I can't enjoy life until I have money. Like, you don't deserve to hold on to any of that until, like, you just don't, period. And it's time to release that. And when you can release it, that's when you're going to be able to then start to go on this adventure and start to expand very rapidly into wealth. Of all the 3 decks so far, you have kind of the fastest trajectory to abundance out of all of them. Again, if you can really lean into this, I see like 2 to 3 years max, you're going to be in a completely different place. And it'll, like your wealthiest self said, it'll keep going because you continue to have that mentality of life is an adventure. Like, it's not like you'll peak. It's just like, it'll keep getting better and better and better. So some other decks are like 5 years, maybe 10, like it depends on the person, because these are not personal private readings, these are, general readings. But for you, deck 3, there's the potential for the fastest rise into abundance you desire, like into your wealthiest timeline, and from where I'm receiving this message from. But it's there has to be that release and that forgiveness and healing and self-love around whatever big one specific thing you are holding on to that says, I can't just go on this adventure life, that's not safe financially, or I don't deserve to, or what if I mess it up, right? Like, any stories that result in that line of thinking are the things that need to go. Like, so if you did something around money or a job where you feel like you messed it up, or you ruined something, I just saw 333 for you, or if you blew an opportunity, or you have regrets around something, or you feel like you've been wronged in some way, it's like that. Any self-blame around any of that needs to go. And even if you feel like you're blaming others for it, release that, because you don't deserve to be holding on to that pain, right? It doesn't mean you have to forgive. Could be forgive others. You definitely need to forgive yourself for anything. But you need to absolutely release that pain, because you don't deserve to hold it. You don't deserve to hold it, and it's going to keep you from being able to truly enjoy the adventure of life in a way that's going to lead you to the abundance you desire. We have right here Orion activation, supernova recreation, renewal, rebirth by light, angelic frequency. Angels are here. You are safe, potent connection. All right. So the fact that these 2 cards came up together is like, it's giving me chills. Just so you know what I'm getting, this is more of how I'm being delivered this message to share with you, because Orion is, for me, a very 2 different kinds of sources, but my protector guide, and also the more or less the collective I channel from. And because they're here with this card of you are also safe, potent connection. Angels are here, like deck 3. I hope you really listen to this part and understand and really let this sink in, and let yourself start to believe this more when I say this, because these 2 cards have come through together specifically for me to communicate this to you as potently as I can as the channel for you. You are so just especially divinely protected and led and supported. Your guides, the universe, are with you every step of the way. I get that you have some guides that have been with you from birth, from past lives, that are here with you now, that have always been with you in this lifetime, that always will be with you in this lifetime. And they are here to guide you to the richest experience of life you can have. Yes, rich in wealth, but also rich in life experience, in adventure. So the universe is saying it is safe to trust and enjoy the adventure of life. You will be so supported when you fully give yourself to enjoying the adventure of life, instead of being like, well, I'll enjoy the adventure of life once I have some savings in the bank, or once I have that job secured, or once I've made X amount of money. It's like, no, enjoy the adventure of life now. You are divinely supported, and you will continue to be supported if you allow yourself to fully enjoy the adventure of life. This doesn't mean you don't go to work anymore. This doesn't mean that you don't do things. You still do things. You still take aligned actions. But you do it with the energy of enjoying your life for the sake of enjoying it, of enjoying the adventure. Even the negative things that happen in your life, finding, even in the moment, if they don't feel great, like pretty quickly finding enjoyment of like, but I'm alive and I'm experiencing this, and this is opening me up to different perspectives or opportunities or redirecting me to something. Like, the more you can lean into that mentality, the faster you quantum leap and shift into that timeline of rapid, like astronomical abundance. And you'll go through those inner doubts and move through them so much more easily because you have that level of detached adventure in life, right? Like you're here purely for the adventure of life. So this is that confirmation from the universe saying you are divinely supported when you lean into your adventurer heart, your adventurer spirit. That's incredibly beautiful. And I feel like my guide and collective here with me right now, really driving that message home. Very beautiful. I have chills. We have Peacock Spirit, let it shine. Again, like this is, we see it from this heart, right? On this peacock, I'm getting, again, I just said your adventurer heart, and that like sent chills through me. Let your adventurous spirit shine. Let yourself go for it is what I'm getting. Let yourself shine, but more so like oh my gosh, yes. Horse spirit, freedom is yours. I've never seen this card. Again, this has happened in every of these readings so far that I pulled from this deck, which means it truly is, this guidance truly is coming from somewhere else that I haven't tapped before, your wealthiest timeline. Because I use this deck a lot. I've never seen the horse spirit card to my memory. Freedom is yours. When we say freedom is yours, the universe is saying the freedom of being detached from having to make things happen or having to have it look a certain way in order to be happy, in order to enjoy yourself. When you prioritize in letting your adventure spirit, your heart shine, when you prioritize going on adventure, you become free because you are no longer trying to make money happen. You allow it to come to you. You allow it to happen in your life. Whoa, deck 3. You become so free because you're free then from the worry. You're free from the stress of it. You're free from doing things that absolutely do not feel aligned because you think you have to do them, that it's not safe to trust the adventure and trust the inner nudges. Like, you become truly free. You want to talk about financial freedom and how you get there. It's not through grinding away and trading your precious life and the best years of your life for work you hate to do so that one day you can be free. That's not what financial freedom is. That's one day you have enough money to not do what you want anymore. True financial freedom is when you are free from all the stories and limitations that society and your subconscious have picked up over the years and told you have to play by these specific rules in order to enjoy life, in order to be wealthy enough to enjoy life the way you want it. When you can be free from those rules, which will happen for you by looking at life as an adventure, you will see so much shift. You will be truly free and you'll feel joy no matter where you're doing, no matter what your bank balance is, no matter what it is that you're doing for work. You will find so much joy. And if you don't, you'll be able to switch into something you want very quickly because you're so supported, and those opportunities will be brought to you if you're looking for them, if you're adventuring. But if you say, nope, I just got to stay in this job I hate for 40 years to save up for retirement and then leave, that's not true freedom. That's not adventuring spirit, right? The adventuring spirit is what's going to lead you to true freedom. And that is available to you, your wealthiest self, saying right now, when that finally clicks in place at any point, and then let the abundance roll in. Last card for you, which we love to see from our Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, is Cosmic Celebration. There's so much coming through with this card. The support you have, the divine support in the angelic realm, the spirit guide realm, the astral realm, the Akashic realm, whatever it is, that support, like the beings, the energies that are supporting you, the universe, are like in celebration of what your wealthiest self is communicating to you right now. And so excited for what you're about to do with this from this point on, deck 3. When you embrace that adventuring spirit, you can expand rapidly into more abundance. You can feel free. You'll see the universe step up to support you more and more because it's just like there's so much celebration. You'll be celebrating daily because of money flowing in eventually, but first it'll be because of how free you feel, truly. And that's probably the most beautiful and valuable thing I could ever wish any of you, is to know the true freedom that comes when you're no longer concerned about how is the money going to come in, or will I ever have the money because I can't feel this way or that way until I have the money I want, or I can't enjoy life the way I want. When you can truly know freedom from that, that's abundance. And I know this is a channel, I know I talk about money, but it's like the money comes as a byproduct of that kind of freedom, of living in that state, right? So really beautiful deck 3. Oh my goodness. All right, deck 3, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below letting me know what you took from this reading and how it resonated. I love getting to hear your thoughts on these readings. It gives me so much inspiration to keep doing them, to make for other topics, all that sort of stuff. So comment below if you feel called to. You are, of course, if you are not already, welcome to subscribe to my channel for future card readings for abundance. And if you want to come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership so you can get access to our upcoming Quantum Leap Challenge, plus all of the resources, support, and community you need to more easily manifest the wealth you desire into your life, then I would love to get to connect with you there in the membership. The link for that and the link to pre-order the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck are both in the description and in the pinned comment below. So with all of that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity, freedom, adventure, and quantum leaps into abundance in your wealthiest timeline. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, deck number 4. This is your reading to uncover what message your wealthiest timeline has for you. So we will be looking at any guidance that the future wealthiest possible version of you has to share with you to help you shift into that timeline and manifest that abundance. And in case you missed it at the beginning of the video, I want to make sure that I mention that we are doing a 21-day Quantum Leap Challenge inside of the Wealth Vibe membership this coming month. So if you want to join me and over 100 other members in the Wealth Vibe membership to quantum leap into your wealthiest timeline, then be sure to click the link in the description or pinned comment below to come join in for the challenge and to get access to all of the amazing exclusive resources in the membership. I am personally so excited for the Quantum Leap Challenge. It is going to be so insanely powerful, and it starts on April 1st. So don't wait if you feel called to join in, because joining a little bit before that starts means you get time to learn to navigate all of the amazing resources we have inside of the membership, and also visit some of the stuff we did this month in our current monthly challenge that helps prepare you to successfully quantum leap. So lots of goodies there for you right now. So definitely go check that out in the link below if you are called to. Now we are going to start shuffling to dive into your message and see what message the version of you from your wealthiest timeline has for you right now. So what does deck 4's wealthiest self from their wealthiest timeline want them to know? There are your cards. All right, let's see what we have. We have Flamingo Spirit, embrace the in-between. Wow. Okay, Groundhog Spirit, time to let go. And Bee Spirit, sweet results await. This is amazing. I don't think I've seen either of these cards before. I said this in all 4 of the decks we've done for this reading. I use this deck a lot, and I have not seen, there were cards from it in each reading that I've not ever pulled before. I'm pretty sure, especially this one. I might have, but I don't remember them. And that just is extra confirmation to me that I'm tapped into a place I've never channeled or received guidance from before, which is your wealthiest timeline. Because why would I have been tapped into that before, right? So here's what I'm getting for you, deck 4. Here is what, of all the infinite possibilities of futures you have, the wealthiest one that you could possibly step into and manifest for yourself. The message from that version of you is saying that, first of all, confirmation, beautiful confirmation with our Bee Spirit, sweet results await. Like there is so much abundance available to you. I'm getting this like really warm, almost like honey, right? Like warm, glowing happiness and satisfaction out of life and out of the abundance that is available to you. Like you're going to have such a level of abundance in that reality that it feels like home to you. Like you feel your life is so full is what I'm getting. And your wealthiest self is saying the way that your life is so full, you have like everything you could want in all areas, not just money, though that is part of it, but in all areas, like family, home, health, relationships. Like you just have this sweet life, sweet abundance in all areas of your life. But the way that you get there is it's time to let go of what's no longer serving you. We have some similarities here with our deck 1. If you felt called to that, you could watch that later. But what's interesting with your cards is that it's time to let go of, first of all, there's time to let go of some things. This is really interesting advice, really interesting guidance. Your wealthiest future self is saying it's time to let go of any of the things that keep you stuck or, connected to your past that don't serve you and aren't a match for where you want to end up abundance-wise. But more so, it's time to let go of this timeline and your attachment to it. Your wealthiest self is saying, don't be afraid to quantum leap. Don't be afraid to let go of the life you have now. And that can sound really dramatic, and it can also sound kind of scary when you hear that, right? To be like, let go of the life you have now. But it's not saying to no longer be alive. That is not it at all. It is saying when you quantum leap, you're leaving one timeline for another. Because there's so many, every choice you make in life, and I talk about this in the Wealth Vibe, we talked about it this month in our challenge video, which again, if you join, you're welcome to watch that at any time. But I explained quantum leaping, and some people were like, I've been looking for answers to quantum leaping or understanding of it for us like decades, and I finally have the clarity because of this video. So it's like, the way I explained it was in more depth there, but to give you the kind of Cliff Notes version here is that in any moment you have so many choices you can make, like little tiny choices. You can make infinite choices in every moment. And whatever choice you take, like, slightly shifts what timeline you're on, like slightly shifts your trajectory. Most of the time we're making choices that keep us on the same general kind of trajectory or track around money or anything else we want in life. But when we start to radically make different choices, and these don't have to look big outwardly, but inwardly they often feel very big. When we make those big choices that are different, we shift more dramatically into different timelines that are much more different from the one we're in now, that then lead to different results, much more dramatically and observable results around money and otherwise, right? So in every moment, you're essentially quantum leaping. But in order to quantum leap into the wealth you desire, into your wealthiest timeline, deck 4, is going to require you to be willing to let go of the old patterns that keep you kind of staying in the same general kind of vibe of timelines, same general outcomes, similar timelines, but also it's going to require you to be willing to let go of whatever timeline you're in. We often have this kind of fear, and it usually is like kind of that more ego fear, because the ego, while it's a beautiful part of us, fears change, right? That's part of why it's so useful to us, is because evolution-wise and safety-wise, it's important for us to be wary of new things that might cause us harm or danger, right? But often that means that we're afraid of the unknown because we don't know what lays on the other side of it. And so your ego, when you say, when you're consciously trying to quantum leap, right? You're saying, I'm going to leave this reality and this version of my kids or this version of my husband or this version of my pets or whatever it is, and go to this other timeline where they're all slightly different or really different or I'm different. It's like, that's scary to our ego. Or just like, I'm going to leave this timeline and who knows what timeline, when I land in this other timeline, what that's going to look like, what's going to happen from there. That's scary, and it prevents us from making these big radical changes and decisions and actions and changes in our thought patterns. And it's really kind of terrifying, right? In a lot of ways. And so your future wealthiest self saying, if you want this amazing life that's available to you, where you have everything, like this incredibly sweet life, you have to be willing to let go of now and embrace the in-between. You have to be willing to truly embrace the unknown. Because the path between where you are right now, deck 4, and where you want to be in this sweet, sweet life, there's going to be a lot of unknowns along the way. We said this in deck 3. So again, if you're called to that one and that resonates, definitely check that out later. But really what your wealthiest self is asking you to embrace and to know and to trust in is like to know that everything you want that you currently do not have in your life is on the other side of some sort of unknown, almost void, almost unknown reality, unknown choice. Like that the path to what you want is not set in stone. It is not laid out. There's a lot of different ways to get there, but the way you're going to get to this specific reality where you have everything you desire, it's like the wealthiest possible timeline for you, is truly embracing the in-between, embracing the unknown. Some of what we talked about in deck 3 might help you do that. I'm going to pull some more cards to see if there's more specific guidance for you specifically to help you do that. Deck 4, but really it's important for you to understand that at any moment you're changing and you're quantum leaping, you're shifting realities, you're changing the trajectory of your future with every single little choice you make or do not make, whether consciously or unconsciously. You are constantly changing realities and timelines and future outcomes. So why not? You're always releasing some sort of past timeline. Like you're always moving forward. That's like our 3D reality with the march of time forward, right? It's like we cannot go backwards. We cannot change that stuff. It's like we only can keep moving forward by making different choices or not making different choices and seeing where that leads us. So you're constantly already doing that. The universe is saying, let go of the limiting belief that when you choose differently or act differently, and you have to let go of this current timeline or reality or aspect of your reality, like your job or whatever it is, that's a scary thing or a bad thing. You're already doing that. It's just that you're going to be doing it on a level, you're going to need to do it on a level that's a little bit more unknown. It's a little bit less predictable. But the universe is saying, and your wealthiest self is saying, the wealth you desire is not something you're going to be able to predict. You're not going to be able to predict, at least from where you are now, how it's going to happen. So you're going to need to be willing to embrace shifting timelines, jumping between parallel realities, quantum leaping, collapsing time, whatever you want to call it. You're going to have to be willing to embrace that. If you can't, then you'll stay in these same general kind of similar timelines. And that's fine if that's what you want, right? But don't make that choice unconsciously, make it consciously, is what your wealthiest self is saying. And it's encouraging you to make the conscious choice to be okay with choosing to be like, I'm going to think differently. I'm going to act differently. I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust others. I'm going to pursue that thing that feels right to me. I'm going to trust my inner nudges. It's encouraging you to do that stuff with this kind of excitement of like actually getting excited for the unknown. Because when you get excited for the unknown, it means that you're open to change and radical miracles and possibilities. And transformation, radical transformation in your life and your financial reality. If you are afraid of the unknown and you need to know exactly how everything is going to play out, first of all, you can't ever know that because there are infinite factors in any moment that can impact your perfect little plan. But the universe is also saying, if you have to know every single step, you right now where you are, your mind can't predict or plan out the path that's going to lead you to this wealthiest timeline. So stop trying and instead embrace the unknown, embrace not knowing, and let go of this timeline and see what you can calibrate to instead. And I'm going to get some guidance now on what you can do or what you need to know, what your wealthiest self has for you. There have been, I think, pentacles in every reading, which is fantastic to see. Maybe not one, but most of these. I have our 8 of Pentacles here. So this is just that guidance of how to actually, once you kind of are like, okay, I'm willing to embrace the unknown and let go of this reality and where I am right now and be open to changing and shifting and seeing where I land. This is then what you're kind of going to be called to focus on, right? So this is our 8 of Pentacles card. So this card is all about focus and hard work and skills and you know, like this kind of mastering your craft, workmanship. Wow, workmanship. There we go. So it's all about that sort of stuff. And the universe is saying, wow, really trust. I want to pull one more card for you here from this deck just to see what else we have. We have our 5 of Wands reversed. Harmony, peace, a relaxed environment, release of tension and control, that sort of thing, right? So instead of focusing on trying to plan out how you're going to get to the wealth user, how you're going to shift into your wealthiest timeline, what it's going to look like, what the whole path looks like, which, you know, is part of why you're not willing to really let go and leap because you don't know, there's not a guarantee that it'll work out the way you want. The way you're going to be able to do that is by stop focusing on how you're going to get to where you want to go and instead start focusing on mastering your craft. When I say mastering your craft, the guidance that's coming through is whatever it is that you are most called to do, that truly lights you up, excites you, whatever it is, brings you the most, especially the most peace while you're doing it, the most harmony while you're doing it, the most just joy in your life, whatever it is that brings you that gives you relief, that allows you to release your stress, your tension, all of that. Whatever it is, lean into that, lean into mastering that. That will likely be something that you either monetize if you're not already, or something that a career you use in your job or in a career. But it's going to lead you either directly or indirectly to the wealth you desire, right? But it's when your focus is more on mastering your craft, really doing the things that you enjoy and getting good at them for the sake of the fact that they just make you feel good, and not worrying so much about how is this going to make me money, then the money will show up, the path will appear, right? Again, we have some similarities between one or two of our other readings here, but this is really for you specifically, deck 4. There has to be that release of how is it going to happen, embrace the unknown of how it's all going to unfold, and instead lean into focusing on developing the skills that you enjoy, developing the talents that you want to develop, doing the things that bring you peace, and really deepening into those, becoming a master of them, really conquering those things. The more you can do that, that's your wealthy self saying that's the way you shift into this wealthiest timeline. Your wealthiest self, is now telling me, I am a master at something. I am one of the best at something. I am widely regarded for many of you community-wise, but for some of you even on a global level, like you're almost a household name, or at least in your industry, you are like the best at what you do. Your future self is like, I'm the best at what I do, and people know it, and people pay me highly for it. But again, it's something you couldn't maybe predict the way it's going to unfold, or even what this looks like for you. And so there has to be this embracing the unknown of how is this going to happen? How is this thing going to make me money? Stop asking that question. Your wealthiest self saying, if you're constantly trying to justify what you're doing based on whether you think it'll make you money or not, you're not going to get to where you want. You're not going to get to this really incredibly sweet, beautiful, abundant, wealthiest timeline. The moment your wealthy self is saying, the moment I let go of needing to know how it would happen and instead focused more on becoming the best I could become, not in competition with anyone. Let's be clear, not in competition, but the best I could become at what I love to do, what brings me peace. The more that carried over into my work, or it became my work, or it deepened my work in some way, that it allowed it to explode is what I'm seeing, like just massive growth and fame for those of you who want it, notoriety, authority, right? Like there's just, wow, so much that opens up when you turn your, like even looking at this picture right here, this person is very focused on the work at hand. They're not focused. They're not looking outward even at the coins, right? At the pentacles. They're not looking off into the distance, into the future or behind them. They're focused on the actual work, and they look very comfortable there, very at peace, very at home. So whatever it is that makes you feel at peace, at home, relief, that is what you should be focusing on. The more you focus fully on that for the purpose of the fact that it just makes you feel good to do it, and you just want to get better and better at that and feel better and feel better and feel better, then you're going to naturally find ways to monetize it. Or it's going to lead you to opportunities or people that will bring you more abundance, and you will be incorporating whatever it is that you love to do that brings you peace and harmony it'll be part of, if not the forefront of, how you make just the wealthiest, most amount of money you could possibly make, right? Really cool. Deck 4, excuse me. Let's get some more cards down for you. See what else we have for you from your future wealthiest self. We have Gaia Gateway activation, learning experiences, wisdom transmission, earth intelligence. So again, there's this grounded energy. We have our chamber of the violet flame. So we have karmic release, radical transformation. Wasn't I just saying the word radical a whole bunch a minute ago here? This is really, really cool to see. So the more grounded you can become in the work that you love to do, in the things that you love to do, even if it's just, the universe is saying too here, even where you are now, and your wealthiest self saying, I remember when I was at that point you're at now, where maybe it felt like you couldn't fully enjoy what you were doing, or you didn't have time to prioritize doing the thing you love to do or that brings you peace or harmony, because I felt so scarce, or because I felt like that wasn't the responsible thing to do, or whatever. And your future wealthy self is like, just make a little bit of time for it each day, make a little bit of time for it each week, make sure you're continually revisiting it. It's going to benefit you and your finances and your life in more ways than you can possibly imagine. It is, your wealthiest self saying that is the most important thing you can do right now. That's the most important thing for you to do. With this card here, we're seeing really that this learning to focus on your craft, your work at hand, and prioritizing your own peace and harmony through that, and not chasing the money or justifying letting yourself do the thing that feels good because you don't know if it'll make you money or whatever. This journey that you're on or you're going to go on is part of your karma. It's karma for you to release. And karma, some people, say karma is did something bad in a past life or something like that, so you got to make up for now. I like to see it, and how I always feel this guidance comes through and how it feels like it's coming through now is it's like karma is just what your soul came here to kind of learn in this lifetime. It's kind of like a lesson it came here to learn. So this is a really actually a core soul lesson that your soul came here to learn, as to how to really sink into deep, meaningful work, whatever is meaningful to you. Maybe this is, I'm getting for some of you, I could see you in your kitchen cooking or baking, and it's just like peaceful and calm, but also feels productive to you. Maybe for some of you, this is some form of art. For some of you, it could be really learning the ins and outs and nitty gritties of computer programming. Like there's any task, whatever it is that in this lifetime brings you joy and peace and harmony. And there might be multiple things like this for you, deck 4. Whatever it is, prioritizing that thing or those things and learning how to find the joy in them and not need to justify to yourself why you should spend time doing it, and instead just do it because it just feels good and you like it. Like you're naturally going to be presented with opportunities that bring in more abundance for it, and you'll find ways to monetize it. But bringing your focus here and focusing on this instead of the future or the past or the how of things, that is something your soul is really here to learn how to do and take a lot of pleasure and joy in, right? Like for your own soul's growth in this lifetime. That's really beautiful. Let's get some cards for you from our Wealthy Woman deck to see if there's any other guidance, any last guidance or next steps that the wealthiest timeline version of you has to share with you, deck 4. Any other guidance? Ooh, Abundant Assembly. I feel like this card might need to go in the middle, but we're going to see what else comes up. The Wealthy Woman card. Yep, I definitely feel like this is going here. And we have the Light Weaver card. These are beautiful together. Okay, so with these 3 cards, we'll put it here so we can see all of them. Sometimes I think I'm pulling cards to put in a specific spot, and the guides are like, nope, put it here. This is what the layout is, and this is what this means together in this configuration. So here we are. All right. So, really beautiful. Okay, deck 4. Last bit of guidance for you from your wealthiest timeline. The more you sink deep into your craft, sink deep into the things that bring you peace, ground yourself in them, the more you'll be able to let go of this timeline, start acting differently in subtle but small ways. It'll start to change your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your energy, your priorities, the decisions you make. You'll be able to embrace the in-between, because no matter what you're doing what you love. No matter how things look, you're making time to do things. You come back to your work, your hobbies, your skills, whatever it is that the work at hand that you're really sinking into and deepening into. That's the point for you. Like, you're always doing that no matter what in some form. So it doesn't matter how things look or how things play out. You don't need to know the plan, because you're already doing the thing you want to do that brings you peace. You've already won. You already have the prize. That's why we want more money, is we think it's going to bring us more peace or harmony, because in our world, having more money means more power or more freedom or things like that, which can lead to feeling more inner peace. So we're justified in thinking that, but you don't need money to feel that way. And then the big cosmic joke is that when you release the need for money and you can find the peace and the harmony in the work you're doing now, regardless of whether it's actually being monetized or bringing you money or is profitable or anything like that, the money shows up. And for you, it'll be specifically through other people around you will start to bring you opportunities. Like, they will see what you're doing. It might be that you might have to do some things, like, you might get the nudge to, for example, if you are an artist and you are just deepening into mastering your craft of painting and really becoming one of the best you can at it, right? And then you feel a nudge to start putting your art online just for people to see, not even necessarily sell, but you just start sharing it on social media or sharing it even with your friends. You're going to find that these really miraculous things happen where someone's like, oh, I saw this thing of yours online, or you show it to a friend. They go, oh, I have a friend of a friend who knows who actually might love this or might want to buy it, or who is an art dealer, right? Like, you never know how it's going to unfold, but it'll unfold in this amazing way when you're letting go of trying to plan out how it's all going to happen and embrace the in-between, the unknown. So this work, this focusing on doing what you love for the sake of just the fact that you love it and it feels so good to you, brings you peace and harmony, that's going to naturally bring you into alignment and embodiment of your wealthiest timeline. That's how you switch into your wealthiest timeline, all right? That's how you embody the wealthiest version of you. That's what this wealthy woman card is all about. Other people, as you do that, people are going to naturally bring you your wealthy self. Saying, like, it's incredible how many opportunities will start flooding your way faster and faster and faster, and you will not even be able to predict how they happen. And your wealthy self is almost laughing, being like, it's almost comical how fast and how serendipitous it is, and you're going to love it. It's going to be so fun. Also, the work you do, the way when people pay you, you're going to see that their wealth, their lives, like, increase or benefit like tenfold. So it's really interesting whenever someone pays you for your work through these opportunities for friends, because of this work you love doing, even if it starts out as just a hobby or skill or it's something you're kind of adding to your current work or job. As people pay you, your employer or clients or, buyers or whatever, people start to pay you for it. Like, they will come back to you later and be like, your wealthy self saying it's amazing. And it's just, you believe, your wealthy self believes so deeply in the universe or God or, whatever terms you want to use, but it's because they've seen how the more they do what they love, the more opportunities come to them. And those people who pay them or support their work in some way and compensate them, they come back, I'm getting like months or years later to you and say, buying that art changed my life, or you don't understand how much that one session I had with you meant to me, or how much it changed my life. Like, you are making such a big impact that people who pay you get back like 10 times what they paid you, and you're wildly compensated. So it's just everyone's benefiting from you just focusing on what you love to do because you love to do it. That's, of all the guidance of all 4 decks, I feel like yours is maybe the simplest to follow, at least in theory. Maybe in practice that might be a little bit difficult. And again, if you need support with that, come join the Wealth Vibe membership, because this is something we talk about quite frequently, is trusting your ability to really dive into the gifts that you value about yourself, right? Those are 2 of the pillars we talk about quite a bit in there. But easy in concept, maybe a little difficult or challenging in practice, because we're so conditioned to believe that if you just focus on what you love to do, and again, you might still work, you might just start focusing on what you love to do a little bit more on the side each day, right? Until it grows and grows and grows and starts to snowball, and all of a sudden these opportunities for money start pouring in, and everyone's like, I love this made my life even richer, right? It's like, your wealthiest self just wants you to know, right? And this is because this is our last little bit here, is they're saying you're so concerned or even afraid of the unknown that you're not letting yourself dive into what you love to do right now. And that, deck 4, is your key to shifting into your wealthiest timeline. When you can start really diving into what you already know you love to do and what already brings you the most peace and harmony right now, and you start to do that more and more as much as you can, then the more the unknown starts to become the known, because all these opportunities start coming in. But if you're trying to do it in the reverse order, which is how most of us are taught to do it and how we're all trying to do it and go about life, trying to figure out how things are going to happen and then executing on that plan, we don't do the things that are right in front of us. The things that we love, the things that come easily to us, the things that bring us that peace and harmony and inner joy. And if we just did that, and especially for you, deck 4, that's how you're going to align and jump with and stay in your wealthiest timeline. So deck 4, this was really, really cool. What a cool reading. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment below, letting me know what you took from this reading and how it resonated. I really love getting to hear your thoughts on these readings. They mean so much to me and inspire me to come up with new ideas and topics and to keep making these videos for you. So definitely comment below if you feel called to. You are, of course, also welcome to subscribe to my channel if you're not already for future card readings for abundance. And if you want to come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership so you can get access to our upcoming Quantum Leap Challenge, plus all the resources, support, and community you need to more easily manifest the wealth you desire into your life, then I would love to get to connect with you there inside the membership. The link for the Wealth Vibe and the link to pre-order your copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck for your own abundance and success readings is in the description and the pinned comment below. So with all that being said, I am wishing you massive prosperity, abundance, joy in your work, peace and harmony, and quantum leaps into your wealthiest timeline. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.